Diane Reams recently had a guest on who wrote a book about the loss of confidence in experts. From people not trusting doctors and telling them off because they know things they got off Google, to believing in conspiracy theories, to bluntly denying science or national or foreign policy, experts have lost the national and in some cases global trust. He makes an interesting point that a big impact on this anti-skeptical thinking comes about from the fact that our interconnectedness and complex interdependence that allows for all of our great wonders and survival goes counter to the way our mind works. 100 years ago, if you needed something, you had to do it for yourself to survive. Now just mailing a letter is a complex process you know little about because we have both division of labor and knowledge. It is what gives us all our wonders of this modern age. But you have to blindly trust the system or actually constantly learn what you don't know, which will never end. For some, that constant learning can be a healthy, fun thing. But for many, the amount of learning and trust of the rest of society needed is overwhelming and feels disempowering. Of course, add to the fact that propaganda of the corporations and the extreme right and very extreme left have equated expert elites in their fields with rich elitists, and you somehow end up with people believing that a collection of people who are at best upper middle class, but mostly lower middle class, are somehow involved in a national or global conspiracy to hurt many, many people for some reason or another. Buying into conspiracy theories or getting a doctorate in Google searching makes them feel like they have some control over the system they live in. They are yelling at a doctor telling them what they know to be true from Dr. Google that makes them feel like they're standing up to the perceived big knowledge that is screwing them over and trying to dupe them. But they know better, and that makes them feel special. They can't trust anyone, or that would make them a sheeple. The School of Life made a recent video that is excellent that covers this, and no amount of logic or facts will work on these people. It is an emotional problem where they feel they're unable to trust, and they feel a lack of control over their lives that causes people to get sucked into unfounded conspiracy theories and pseudoscience. And we scientists are the worst at making people feel safe and in control, and feel like they can trust us. Our first go-to is more facts, and those will just irritate and inflame the raw emotion, causing them to lash out and distrust even more. I'm terrible at this, and I don't know how to deal with it, especially as I can't tell who's a troll these days and who's genuine, which makes the effort to use kindness and the principle of charity even more difficult, as you're pretty sure you're wasting your time these days. I don't have the answer to this, and I don't have much hope for science and facts. The more bubbles created and the more people get connected to the internet, the worse it gets. 5 years ago, I was full of hope as to what the internet could bring. Now I just fear it, much like the promise of the future in the 50s and flying cars that were replaced by the fear of nuclear annihilation. We may get there, but I'm kind of out of ideas on what I can do, other than be as gracious to people in person as possible. But the internet doesn't seem to be where you can do that these days.